Yeah, we got lots to say. Now here's Bobby and Matt.
I'm holding a football, and it's an Arkansas Razorback football. I just keep it around.
Shocking.
Well, which part? Holding a football or the Arkansas Razorback?
Arkansas Razorback.
And so I'm holding it as I normally do, and Castle's like, let me see your grip. Now, I didn't move my grip, so I have you, you can comment on it without me changing it from what we talked about earlier. So
You've got one finger on the lace, right?
I've got two.
Two? Yeah. I've seen it.
2 fingers on the lace. I got the pinky on like the third.
Yep.
My natural. Where would you? This is where it is for the camera. So if I were just grabbing it, throwing it, that's it. How would you hold it?
So I would usually hold it ring finger.
Dude, you have big hands.
Not that big, bro. I mean, some of these guys, like.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
I mean,
I'm
Carson Palmer's hand would go like all the way over the ball. It was the craziest thing. So I'd hold it here, second lace.
It's
all
like
the
you
way
have
down
6
there.
fingers.
And then every now and then when it get like wet outside, I'd go down, get a little bit more of the ball on like the third lace, which is very uncommon because a lot of guys like they do, whether it's Stafford or Brady and these guys, they hold it here on this last lace with their third finger.
That pinky is going so far down the laces. Like when I hold it, and
you're right here, right? And
yeah,
you're like, yeah, let me get more of that.
I don't need that pinky. You know,
like that wrist.
It didn't take much pink for me.
Let me see the L.
Yeah, for me, it's right here. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, your hands are huge, and I'm not a small man. I promise, I'm not small. I'm like 6'1.5". My license says 6'1". I'm about 175. And so, you know, a little taller than average.
In shape.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Mobile quarterback.
Did they measure your hands? Was that one of those
that was
things?
great. They never measured mine because at USC Pro Day, for whatever reason, I don't think that they measured my hands, or maybe they did. I don't know.
They ran out of time?
They ran out of time. They're like, all right, guy, let's go. We got to go run 40s. Let's go. We don't care about your hands.
All right, question. So we're going into week 10, right? That's next week?
Yep.
When do people get tired? Like, when do the players, what week is it where you're starting to not just make sure you're not injured or take care of your injuries, but you're battling the first stages of like season fatigue?
Well, it's hard to say because I think for every team, it's based on how the season's gone, because there's fatigue that sets in when you're a struggling football team, even in the first half of the season. You know you've got so much more football left and you can turn the season around, but when you start stacking losses, and they're difficult losses to take, that creates a little fatigue because the building feels that. The Mondays feel different. You come in, everybody's a little bit more on edge. The coaches are coaching you harder. The little minute mistakes that you might have made after a victory where they let it slide, those are harped on. And it's just the mental grind of getting through the difficulty of losing games, because coaches, obviously, their job's on the line, your job's on the line. So I'd say that there's more mental fatigue in those type of situation, and it's turning those negatives into positive and having a positive mind frame moving forward, giving hope, giving them motivation, the team motivation. I'm saying that, hey, guys, look, if we just go out and take care of business this next, 8 games left, that we can turn the season around. But that's sometimes more difficult, easier said than done, I guess, is what I'm saying.
So football stress is fatigue, the same as life stress to us is fatigue.
Right.
Dang.
I mean, because think about it.
The Cowboys are so tired then.
They're so tired.
The Dallas Cowboys are exhausted.
Yeah, they're exhausted because when you're winning ball games, I mean, you walk in the building, the black coffee that they serve there, that just tastes a little bit better, right? Everything feels a little bit better. People are in a good mood. Like, hey, yeah, a lot more smiles. Now there's still work to be done, but there's a confidence that comes with winning. There's a morale boost that comes with winning games. Even if you win a game like Chicago did the other day, coming from behind, and, it was just the most absurd win you've ever seen, probably the most absurd football game I've ever seen. But at the same time, you walked away with a win. And so you can build on that and move forward in the right direction. So it's like you said, it's like life. When you're dealing with stress and things aren't going well, it's sometimes more difficult. But when things are going well and you're winning ball games, even if it's by the smallest of margin, that's your job.
I don't even know how the Jets are getting out of bed, boys.
There's a lot. There's quite a few out there.
One other question about that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you tend to get injured a little more, or is the severity of an injury a little more when you're having a bad season? meaning the player just decides it hurts a little worse than it really does because this year sucks anyway.
I can't speak for other people. I mean, I've never took on that mentality of trying to get out. Like, we got ourselves into this. We got to battle our way out. And your job as a professional, they're paying you to go out there and play ball games. And as difficult as it gets, as the adversity strikes and all that stuff, you got to keep going out there and grinding. And it's not just for myself, it's for my team and my teammates. I've got too much respect for those guys in the locker room that I would never sit there and be like, oh yeah, this ankle sprain, I need another 3 weeks out. Even though
that's got to be a thing for some people.
For some people, I think that it is a thing. That hamstring that was, supposed to be is mild hamstring 2 to 3 weeks, it ends up being 4 to 5, and you're like, really? You're not ready yet? No, you guys are the ones losing. It's not me, it's you guys.
All right, we're going to go back and forth. Let's do a couple. We have LeGarrette Blount coming up in just a little bit. But I want to go first with the MVP race. And so I've got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now DraftKings has given us the odds here. The latest DraftKings MVP rankings at number 5, Baker Mayfield. They had a bye this past week. They do have a game coming up. They got a pretty big one this week coming up.
Yes, they do.
It's them and the Pats, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a big one for both teams.
Yeah.
Both teams.
Very big.
Baker Mayfield at 5, Matthew Stafford at 4.
Matt Stafford at 4, huh?
He went 24 for 32 for 280.
I want to argue that he could be
and 4 touchdowns last
the
week.
front runner.
Okay, I'd like to hear that.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
You did, though. I mean, you interrupted as hard as I wasn't even through even the Stafford
I'm so
part.
sorry.
Yeah. You know him.
Let's
hey,
start
what
over.
A flex.
Let's start over.
I know Matthew
Let's start
Stafford.
over.
I played with him. He's the man. We get it. He's your buddy.
I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, you did, though. All right, number 3, Drake May. 19 for 29, 260, and 2 touchdowns. Hey, how'd you feel about Drake May? I know you were dialed into that game, Kevin.
Yeah, he had a couple bad plays, which he hasn't done since probably week 3. So he was kind of due for one, but it was up and down. Definitely not the Drake May that we've seen from weeks 4 through 7 or 8.
You're going to have downs. Isn't it nice, though, that down was a W? And,
Yes.
it wasn't a complete cliff drop-off. You like your downs. You know who had a down is Daniel Jones. Like, that's a real down.
That's a real down. That's a down day.
So that's a very down day. It was nice to see a Drake May down day end in a W and him still playing pretty solid, right?
Yeah, because the last 5 years, the Patriots would have lost that game every single time.
Yeah.
Right.
And the biggest turnover was at the end of the first half, but he's still you could tell he was still trying to come back from that, but not doing too much. He still played okay. He just had 2 dumb plays.
Did you see Vrabel pumping him up on the sidelines?
Yeah, firing up. I mean, I love the fact, though, he's not going to be perfect. And no quarterback is in this league. But you're able to make some mistakes, but still play consistently enough to put your team in a position to win. And the defense to come through at the end, that was big as well. So their team's playing really well. And that was a big win, especially when you're not playing as good or MVP type as you've been the last, 5-6 weeks of the season.
Right.
Also, Atlanta's got a pretty good defense.
They do.
Yeah, the one thing that's concerning right now is the sacks the Patriots are giving up. Because last week was 5.
Well, Myles Garrett doesn't count, though.
That's true.
You can't do that. I know. I get it. The Browns sacked the crap out of Myles Garrett, and he's switching tackles. He's running over both guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's Myles Garrett. You cannot put that in the equation. I'm just not. You can't. I guess.
But the Falcons at 6.
I agree.
The strip
Two
sack,
rookies.
And the strip sack was a meeting at the quarterback where he was so caught off guard. It was like a race to the quarterback on both sides that they strip sack and return for a touchdown, right?
Close to it.
Close to
They
a
did
touchdown.
score, but they close to it, yeah.
I just will not allow you to compare Myles Garrett to anybody else.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's fair.
Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 1 is Josh Allen, and I think those two would have been number 1 is going to be whoever wins that game. And Josh Allen happened to win the game, which, by the way, it does seem, and I had to look it up to see, but it does seem like the Bills have won a whole lot more of the in-season games, and obviously the Chiefs are winning a whole lot more of the postseason games. And it's 5. They're 5-1.
Yeah.
The Bills in season 5-1 against the Chiefs.
And I wonder what their record is in post. I mean,
0-4, I believe.
yeah.
Josh Allen's never beat him. That game has to be like, for Josh Allen, for Patrick Mahomes, it's got to be like, if you're Josh Allen, okay. I'm glad we won, but I mean, we always win. And then for Patrick Mahomes, it's got to be like, okay.
I
mean,
we typically lose.
Yeah, we
this
lose
game.
these, so okay.
That's okay. We'll see you again.
That was a fun-ish game. The Bills were running away with it, and it was going to get ugly quick. Kansas City made a nice little run.
It was amazing that they were actually in the game the way that they were.
Yeah, I agree.
At the end, because I felt like the Bills dominated time of possession. They ran the ball effectively. They just got after Mahomes. Mahomes was hit like 17 times in that game. I mean, and they pressured him consistently. So it never felt like Buffalo wasn't in control. But then you go to the end of the game and they have the ball back with an opportunity to go down and potentially tie the ball game. And that's what's mind-boggling about the Chiefs. Even when they're not playing well or they're getting dominated, they're never out of the fight.
That second to last Hail Mary, because he throws one, I believe, on 3rd and 4th down, or it was the last 2, depending on the time. That was almost caught off the deflection because he throws it in the end zone. I think it's Thompson who hit the deflection. And the ball is up. And again, it was either Rice or Hollywood. I think it's probably Rashee Rice. Like, he's a second away from catching that ball on the deflection. The last one wasn't near as close. But you're right. The Chiefs are like always in it. And then you go back to the game when they won with only 13 seconds left. And so you're going, yeah, they might actually just do it again.
They might tie the ball game and it might go. Yeah.
Josh Allen is your favorite for MVP. That is my first topic of the day. Yours?
Well, it's kind of, the segue would probably be right off that. I was listening to the sports show the other day, and it was Nick Wright. Nick Wright's a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I think the guy's brilliant. But he said something kind of to your point about, look, the Chiefs don't care if they lose this game because they know they'll meet them down. But he suggested that the Chiefs were potentially holding back plays, not showing everything during this game because they know that they're going to meet them down. They just don't want to show them. But I thought it was the most absurd take. And I'm just saying that because...
Let's go.
Well, I thought it was the most absurd take.
Get ready to clip this one, boys.
They're a 5-3 team right now. And I'm not saying, look, they've been on a roll. But this game meant something because now you're 5-4. And there's no guarantees that you're going to go run the table, even though, look, I think the Chiefs are going to win a lot of games down the stretch. But in addition to that, do you think Andy Reid is legitimately sitting there going, hey, we could put Patrick in a better position right here if we ran this play, but let's hold this for playoffs. Or we have this one play that we can get a touchdown, but if we don't, it doesn't really matter if we win this game. I don't think any coach has the mentality of going into a game and saying, let's not have all the bullets that we need to win the game. That it just was a take that I was blown away coming from him. But I think part of it was the understanding that, okay, they'll probably meet down the road, but nobody's holding plays back. Nobody's not going out there to win the game. And I just don't think that anybody would go into a game and not put their best product out on the field just to hold back for the playoffs.
Do you think a bit of it is him being a homer, a big Kansas City homer, and he really doesn't want to feel in his heart that they tried as hard as they could and still lost?
I think there's part of that. I really do, because if you have the belief in your mind that, they held back plays and they're just waiting to get them down the road, it's one thing. But with the record being what it is, and also primetime matchup against an opponent that's in the AFC that will maybe have an impact later on for playoffs, I found it to be just a ridiculous comment.
Have I told him my recent Nick Wright story?
Recent?
No.
Okay, so I go to dinner with Nick Wright like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I haven't told you this.
No, because we were all in New York. That's
when we were there together.
You left us and told us, look, I got a bigger deal.
No.
And you guys could find your way around New York.
My agent is Nick Wright's agent and Ariel Helwani, who is the big fight guy, massive guy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who was going to be at this thing. And so I get there. My agent's like, hey, this is Nick. Obviously, I know of Nick Wright. I'd never met him.
Right.
And I'd seen a bunch of clips of Ariel. And so we're sitting at a table. And it's all of us. And what sucks is I'm freaking lactose intolerant. We're in an Italian restaurant. I can't have anything.
I'll have the beef carpaccio, please.
Yeah, exactly.
No egg.
And so we're there and we were talking just about podcasts and stuff. And he had mentioned that he had been invited. I said, did you know Matt Castle back in Kansas City? And he said, yeah. And he was very apologetic in that he thinks he was probably the guy who was a little too brash, going a little too hard, that it wasn't just towards you, that it was towards everybody. But he did say that. He was like, I was probably a little too hard on him because I was just like that. I was just shot out of a cannon, paraphrasing him. And he said, you know what? I got invited to do his podcast the other day, and I turned it down because I had something else going on. I didn't say anything else. And then
he didn't realize that we're doing the podcast.
He had no idea it was me. And then Ariel next goes, isn't that your podcast? And I say, yeah, Matt and I do it together. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll do it. I'll do it whenever you want.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I did not. First of all, you disappeared when we got to New York. You went to your room and never came out.
What? Whoa.
Am I
we
wrong
went
on
out.
that?
No, we went out.
No,
Oh, okay, never mind.
we
That's me
met
then.
immediately down the lobby
That's me
because
then.
you told us that you had an obligation, we as a group.
I don't use the word obligation. You're right. I'm totally wrong on that. I was thinking of what I told myself instead of what really happened.
I was going to say, did you say, hey, let's meet down here?
No, I said,
hang out for a minute.
I'm going to go meet my agent. That's what it was. Anyway, he was super nice, and he was also like, I was probably ran a little too hot around you, and then thought he said no to your podcast and realized it was our podcast.
It was our podcast.
It was me.
Yeah, so we might actually get him on.
Yeah, he was like, call him whenever. But I think that's an interesting take that they held stuff back. I mean, you got to be so confident, and I feel like their record isn't good enough to be so confident, especially playing out of that division where Denver is now winning, the Chargers are now winning.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to side with you because you're my friend.
Well, I just...
No, just because you're my friend. That's the only
thank you.
reason.
That's the only reason.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
All right, moving on to my second point. Cam Little kicked a 68-yard field goal. And pretty cool. I know Cam. He played at University of Arkansas. We went and worked out with Cam. He made a 70-yard field goal in the preseason. He drilled the 68-yarder playing the Raiders this last week. But I got to call total nonsense on them giving them these balls before the season starts.
It's, we had Ryan Suckup on a little while ago.
That's how I even know about it. This is why all the kicks are going in from so far.
It was crazy because Vic Fangio had an interview and he's like, it's crazy because now we get a stop at the 40-yard line and it's a 50-yard field goal and they'll be 3 for 3 from 50 plus. And he's like, you're going to see more and more of this, that teams are in games just based on the fact that these field goal kickers, number one, are good, but two, the way that they doctor the ball. And I don't know what they do to their ball.
Well, the difference of the doctoring is they get to do it before the season starts. In the past, they would get them the week or the day of.
Right.
And you only have so many hours to just sandpaper or whatever they're doing with the ball. You got hours instead of now. You have weeks.
Right.
To create your own ball.
Right, to mold it into what you want.
Yeah, so the kickers are getting better, bigger, better, and stronger for sure. Look at Aubrey. I'm not going to say anybody's a better kicker than Aubrey. That dude in Dallas.
He's
kicks.
unbelievable.
Although he did miss. You see the big one he missed? Yeah. But I think we need to chill out on giving him the balls at the beginning of the season. It's starting to feel a bit like steroid era baseball where everything was just different. And you got to kind of look at those in a different way.
Yeah.
Not cheating. It's not that steroids were. But this isn't cheating, but it's like a different ball. So either we're committed to staying with this ball forever, so all the records stay the same, or we need to stop this because these field goals, you're right, as soon as they start at the 30 or the 35, or depending on where the kickoff is,
you're going to have an opportunity.
they're 2 first downs away from a pretty normal field goal attempt.
Right, but to say 68 yards,
For sure. I'm not taking anything away from it.
It's incredible. And I will say this. I think that there's a lot of people that have the same view because it got such limited play. It was like, also Cam Little just set the NFL record for a 68-yarder. And they show the clip and they're like, okay, moving on.
Also, they were playing the Raiders. And it's like, when you're seeing 2 logos up there that you really cared nothing about right now, it's the Jags and the Raiders.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
But good for Cam.
Unbelievable.
68-yard. But these guys are kicking the crap out of it, and I think it's giving them a few yards because the balls are already kicker-friendly.
I wonder if somebody will break the record this year and go 69, 70. I think there's
Aubrey
potential
tried
for it.
68 too, right? And he missed it.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
see, it's not that easy. Did you see the Green Bay kicker this
never
week?
said it was
Did you see the
easy.
Green Bay kicker this week?
You're being a
He literally
hater.
missed the PAT and a chip shot field goal. I mean, it's not as easy as you think.
Hey, the Falcons missed the freaking
That was the
extra
game.
point to
Yeah.
lose the game.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I didn't say it was easy, by the way. You need to not put words in my mouth.
I didn't say that it was.
Yeah.
You're putting words
Right
in your own
after
mouth.
you said you hated Nick Smith.
Nick
Right,
Smith.
right, Nick. Right. Dang it, I didn't
like-
get it right. Thinking
Oh
of the
yeah,
wrong-
that childhood bully, Nick
No,
Smith. Yeah,
man.
he was mean to
Sorry,
me.
I was thinking of the Arkansas basketball
Yeah, he
player
beat
that got
me up.
drafted by the Hornets.
Yeah.
I got my Knicks mixed up. All right, go back over to you.
All right, so
Nick
I mean-
Smith. I'm such an idiot. Go ahead.
Monday Night Football. I know it's the Dallas Cowboys, but Jacoby Brissett for the Cardinals is making a case for himself to stay on the field because he's now played, 3 games, and he's been incredible. 860 yards in those games, 6 touchdowns, only 1 interception, but the team looks different. They've got confidence going, and how he distributes the ball and what he's doing, just the full command of that offense, it just looks different. And I think Jonathan Gannon's got a question that he's going to have to answer pretty soon of when Kyler's healthy, if they keep Jacoby on the field and see if they can continue to ride the success that they're having offensively, or if they're going to put Kyler Murray back on the field. I think it's a tough decision.
I think there were too many moving parts this season to trade Kyler. I think he gets traded in the offseason. I think Kyler ends up getting traded. So I would ask you the question, what's best? Not to play him. He doesn't get injured. Everyone knows his ceiling, or play him and let him play a little injured, because everybody's a little injured right now, right? Like week 10, week 11, week 12, everybody's a little injured.
Right.
Play him, and you have the risk of him not performing well and his trade value possibly goes down a little. What would you do?
Well, I think as a GM, you think about trade value. But as a coach that is in somewhat of a hot seat, hasn't had a tremendous amount of success in a division that's probably the most competitive in the NFL, in the NFC West, that he's sitting there going, I need to play the guy that's going to give us the best opportunity to win games now. And so he's got to make that decision, and I'm sure the evaluation process is still ongoing. And the 5 games that they've lost this year, all of them have been one-score games, and multiple have been 3 points or less. So it's not that they're getting their doors blown off, but they haven't been able to get over that hump where a guy makes a play late, or the Tennessee game was just an absolute debacle. We talked about that with the drop ball on the goal line and all that stuff. So they could be in a much different position if they would have won a few of those games. But just watching how Jacoby's performed as a coach, I think it makes it a much harder decision. It's not just the financial decision, because Kyler Murray, look, economics means something, and the amount of money that they're paying him a lot of times will influence a decision of, hey, look, he's going back in. We've committed money to him. He's our the face of our franchise. But at the end of the day, you do have to look at it from a coach's perspective, which I think that there's going to be pushback from him saying, if he believes that Jacoby Brissett puts him in the best position to be successful, that he's going to say, we're going to go with him and see what happens.
LeGarrette Blount coming up next. We'll also do our segment with DraftKings, the weekend preview. Is that what we call it? Is there even a name for it?
Yeah, weekend preview.
Of course.
Weekend preview.
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 Preview. Don't edit out my Nick Smith clip.
Nick Smith.
That's so stupid. All right, we'll come back with LeGarrette Blount. All right, let's welcome LeGarrette Blount to the program. Hey, LeGarrette, I'm with Matt every week we do the show, and Matt, like yourself, is a retired ball player, and I know what he does now because we talk about it a lot. But since your retirement, like, what do you do? What's your fulfillment now?
Man, my fulfillment is coaching. I coach Mountain Point High School. Go Pride. We're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs right now, so we got a game on Friday. So my son is just turned 16 in September, so I am enjoying, I guess, recreating my glory days of high school, watching him play.
Hey, well, then what type of coach are you? Are you the hard ass? Are you the get after them? Are you more of the teacher? What's your approach when you're coaching the youth these days?
So I am more of I'm a laid back guy because I have had so many coaches be that guy, the asshole or the always getting after them or cussing and yelling at the kids. I've had so much of that growing up, and there is a place for it, but I think that's not my place. You got to get guys in there that's willing to be the bad guy that kids don't like, and they can talk, they can talk about, oh, I don't like this guy. So I try not to be that guy, just for the simple fact that it's pretty tough already on them. I'm already pretty tough on them. I got them. They go straight to meetings after school. So I give them pretty much as close to a schedule of ours that I can. You know how it goes.
He's 16. Do you see a lot of his instincts that you had? Do you see a lot of you in him?
I do see a lot of me in him, but he is a lot more athletic than I was. He plays safety and receiver, while I played running back and linebacker. So he's a lot more fluid. He's a lot more athletic. Shoot, he's probably my height right now. Ball skills is nice, man. He's a go-getter, man. I've fielded a few phone calls about him recently, so that's always good.
Is it hard watching your son play? Because I know when I go to my kids' youth events, like, you're sitting there and you feel the good and the bad, and it's so different being there as a parent, watching your kids play sports and try to separate that from the emotional side of it.
I try to stay disconnected, especially on the defensive side. I'm the offensive coordinator, with co-offensive coordinator with Coach Justin Artis. He's a military guy. So, and it's crazy because he's the military guy and he still ain't the guy that does the discipline and it's like in the military, you're disciplined, you go on a schedule, you're routine based and all those things. But again, he might be a little bit done with that as well, just like I am. So we delegated to someone else. We're trying to give it to a younger guy who's trying to establish himself because, they usually tend to try to impress older coaches. We delegated off to that, man. It's fun to watch him, though. I don't get nervous. I just enjoy watching him play. I don't get nervous. I feel like I've taught him well. I've given him all the ins and outs. I've been coaching him since he was like 9U. So he knows how to tackle well. He knows how to protect themselves when he catches the ball on a bang bang play. He knows how to high point it. I mean, he's a good athlete, man. So I don't get really nervous watching him play because I feel like I've taught him really well on how to protect himself in the game.
You ever sit down and show him dad's highlights or ever catch him watching dad's highlights?
He's a little bit older now, so I ain't caught him watching my highlights in a long time. But I remember when he was growing up, again, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably up until 11 or 12 years old. I mean, I guess that's speaking of now, it just sounds crazy because that's 4 or 5 years from now ago. But I used to always come home and see his iPad on the ground with just highlights of my runs playing. And now it's highlights of Sauce Gardner and the guy from the Ravens, Hamilton, and all these nice safeties and corners and DBs in the league. Those are the highlights you look at now. So if you're gonna watch mine, it's gonna have to be an Instagram post that a team contributed out to me. Hey, shout out to LeGarrette Blount on this post. Like what the Buccaneers did the other day, that'll be the only way he look at my highlights anymore. Even the NFL sent me like a little USB drive with all my plays on it. I don't even think he's looked at it yet. So,
all right, let's go back to you. You grew up in Florida. You obviously went to JUCO out of high school, right? You went to East Mississippi JUCO. Talk to me about making that decision to go all the way out to Oregon. What went into that decision versus going somewhere else around the country, and why Oregon?
The funny story about that is when I was getting recruited, it was heavily, I had a handful of offers, whatever. The thing for me was my parents had a tough time watching me play because I was in Mississippi and they were in Florida. Initially, I committed to Florida State. That was my initial commitment because that's only like 40 minutes away from where I grew up at. And I mean, I'm not the biggest Florida State fan, so I'm gonna go on record and say that I'm a Gator fan. But I didn't like the vibe there. The conversations weren't great. When me and my dad was asking about what does it look like for me to play and things like that, because I was going to go into college D1, but as a junior, so I wasn't going to have like 3 or 4 years. I wanted to have 2 years to play left, so that was important for us, the playing time. Well, when I got there, Antoine Smith, I think, was the running back, and they pretty much told me, without saying in so many words, like, "Hey, he's the guy. He's going to continue to be the guy until he's gone. He's waited his turn. You're gonna have to wait your turn, kind of thing." And I understand that. I felt like I was a better guy, but I didn't want to risk it, And then I went to Oregon on my official visit and talked to Coach Cam and talked to Coach Bellotti and all those guys, and they made me extremely comfortable and made me feel at home. They made me feel better about the fact that my parents would want to watch me play. They made sure they was going to get them out there and stuff like that. So all that played a huge factor in me deciding Oregon and choosing Oregon.
Whenever you go up and you are so far away from home, is there an adjustment period to where, because naturally I think I would be homesick. Even when I go to Oregon now for like 3 days for work, like it feels, that's way away from it. I'm from Arkansas. I live in Nashville now. So Oregon's way up there, man. Was there an adjustment period for you to not be homesick?
Yeah, it was, man. It's different than Florida, that's for sure. I mean, Florida gets all the different seasons and hurricanes and stuff like that. But when I got there, it was always rainy. It was always gray outside. I didn't know a lot of people. So yeah, it was an adjustment. I was pretty homesick. So it was a phone call about almost daily with my mom or my dad saying, "Man, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this. It's tough out here. Things that I got to do now, I never had to do in junior college." And it was just tough, man, being out there by yourself and, only having just a couple friends that can kind of relate, because a lot of those guys are from California and stuff like that.
Yeah, and your second year at Oregon, obviously you went through the adversity, the situation early in the season, Boise State, which that dude came up, smacked your shoulder, and you had to teach him a lesson real quick. But talk to me about that season, because that had to be difficult, right? You had the suspension, you had to serve the suspension. It was going to be a big year. You were going to be the dude. But what type of growth did you find through that experience?
One thing I will say, man, that hit me hard is you don't know everybody that's on your team until you know everybody that's on your team and that's on your side. All the praises and stuff like that was cool and all, but when that hit, it was a tough sledding, and I only had a handful of guys that were on, I felt like personally on my side, with Eddie Pleasant and TJ Ward and Ed Dixon and, a handful of the other guys out there, Walt Thurman and the list goes on. Those were the guys that I really talked to the most when I was going through that, man. I wouldn't, I stopped going to class because it was just such a huge deal. So I couldn't go to class anymore. And I mean, all my guys just brought my school stuff to me, and I kind of submitted it through them as well. And I got to a dark point to where I didn't want to see anyone. I was only allowing one person to come over to my house at that point. That was Ed Dixon. He was the only person that was allowed to come over. I wasn't trying to see anyone or anything like that. And it was tough, man. I had Kenyon Barner. I will say that, man. Kenyon was a huge piece for me, man. He let me vent to him. He cried with me. He sympathized with me. He understood. So, I mean, that was a tough transition, man. But getting back was the bright light. I was still able to practice. I was still able to go to everything. I just wasn't able to play on Saturdays. And the suspension originally was for the rest of the year. Me and Coach Kelly had a conversation. Hey, man, how do we fix this? How do we lift this? How do we figure out yada yada yada? And then there was a couple of demands that I had to meet, and I met those, and he let me back. And for about 2 or 3 games, I wasn't playing. Like, I just didn't play. And that was tough because at that point I was eligible. He hadn't brought me back, so I was eligible. So that was really tough. And then in the Oregon State games, when I actually got another shot at going back out there with my guys. So that was kind of refreshing for me. It felt really, really good. But it was a tough time, though.
Did you feel like you had to explain, because you went undrafted, and I'm assuming a lot of that is because of that situation, because obviously you were a freaking beast and you were awesome as a college player. But were you explaining to a lot of general managers? Were you explaining to a lot of those general managers, hey, look, that's not who I am. That's what I did that one time, but that's not who I am. And do you think that's what affected your overall draft stock?
I can't answer that question because I don't know. But when I was going into my pre-draft visits, like at the combine and stuff, when I was talking I talked to the Steelers. I might even talk to the Patriots, and I talked to one other team. But they didn't really ask me about that. Like, they more asked me stuff like, what kind of runs you like? Can you draw up this protection? Can you draw up this concept? Can you block this? And, that's really what the conversations were. Not a lot of guys asked me about that. So I never really had to explain it to any general managers or any coaches or anything like that, because I guess I have no idea. I don't know if that was the least of their worries, because, guys fight all the time, or I have no idea. But I never had to really explain the situation to any GMs or anything.
So you go undrafted. Did you think, well, number one, did you think you're going to get drafted? But you go undrafted and you obviously go to Tennessee. What went into going to Tennessee versus some of these other places?
The reason I chose Tennessee was I had committed to the deal with the Niners. This will sound crazy. It sounds like I am the most unsure person ever. But so during the time I did think I was going to get drafted, my agent at the time was telling me, like, hey, bro, they're giving you a 3rd round evaluation, 4th round evaluation, which I'm, okay, that's cool. I just want to go at this point. And, you see it go slipping away, and then you see these guys that get drafted before you that, no knock against them, but they're nowhere near the caliber player that you are. And, they're getting the opportunities to get drafted. And it's understandable, right? You have, if you're outside looking in, as a general manager that didn't ask those questions and stuff, you're looking at this guy like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to be able to handle him, or yada, yada, yada. But I told Coach Singletary of the 49ers, he called me in the 5th or 6th round, and he said, hey man, we're looking to pick you up with this, with this next pick. I'm excited. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And the pick goes by, and they choose Anthony Dixon, running back from Mississippi State. And then after the draft is over, they called me like, hey man, we would love to have you here. we want to give you a shot, man. We think you're a great player, the whole spiel. And I'm like, well, y'all just drafted Anthony Dixon after calling me and telling me y'all were going to draft me. So was that a backup plan, or if he wasn't there, was y'all going to pick me? Like, what was the plan here? And it was like, man, we believe in you. We love you. We love your running style. It coincides with what I believe as a football player, yada, yada, yada. So me and my agent went on, we had a talk. Me and my mom went for a long ass walk around the neighborhood. And I came back and talked to my agent, and they say the Tennessee Titans want you as well, Jeff Fisher. We had that conversation. I was like, hey man, I want to call Coach Singletary and tell him, like, hey man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make that decision because come there because I don't know if you're gonna be honest and truthful with me, considering how the draft unfolded. And we called him and we told him, and he kind of, I'm pretty sure he hung up on us. And then I called Jeff Fisher back, and I'm like, hey man, I'm coming to Tennessee, and he sounded like a kid in a candy store. I was like, man, hell yeah, da. And I was excited to play with Chris Johnson. So that's kind of how that whole story unfolded.
When you go to Tampa, is it like I'm finally able to play at home and my family can watch me?
That was a highlight of my career because that's only about 2.5, 3 hours away from where I grew up at. So I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was the first time I had ever played like in the same state as my family being able to watch since high school.
And you ran for 1,000 yards that year, right? You ran for 1,000 yards.
Yeah, man, they put a big 180 feet New York style banner on the side of the football stadium with me on it. It was pretty cool.
So did you know? Tight. So at that point, when that happens, right? So early in your career, did you know that you arrived at that point and you're like, okay, see, was part of it the motivation of proving everybody wrong, of saying, look, I went undrafted. Titans, they let me go. Tampa Bay gives me my opportunity, and now I've got this stage where I can prove to everybody I'm the player that I thought I was.
Yeah, man, it did give me a lot of validation. I never really had any doubt in my skill set and how good I could be, but I did have some doubt in my mind that people didn't trust the fact that I was going to be able to come in and contribute and keep it together if things don't go right and things like that. So I think that played a big factor in some of those things. But I did feel good about myself, man, because I was in the backfield with a guy that had just won that had won Rookie of the Year while he was there. It's Cadillac Williams, right? Auburn beast. One of the best college football running backs in ever history, in my opinion. And he was Rookie of the Year, and I came in behind him, and he took me up under his wing. Him and Ernest Graham. That's a Florida Gator guy, man. Hey, shout out EG. But I love them Gators, man. But Ernest Graham and Cadillac took me up under their wing, man, and they took me to dinners. I didn't have to do the rookie dinner stuff, so I didn't have to spend all my undrafted money. I didn't have but like a couple $1,000s, so I probably would have been broke after one meal. But they took me up under their wing, and Cadillac was good to me, even though they transitioned into me being the starting back that was getting most of the carries. He didn't hurt. He didn't like hamper or hurt like my development. He actually just helped me a lot, and everything that I needed help with, he was as helpful as he could possibly be. So it was a good time in Tampa, man. I'm not gonna lie, I liked it out there.
So I've heard a lot of Patriot stories from Castle because obviously he played with them for a long time, and he said you guys did not cross paths in New England. At least you guys didn't cross paths until later in you guys' career. But what was the first Patriots moment where you're with the Patriots and you're like, oh, this organization is different?
I'll say one of the biggest changes for me was the fact that you go into a meeting, and I didn't know this at the time. So you go into a meeting and you have your notes ready, and you're looking at film, and everybody's just kind of taking out their notes, and I'm just kind of looking around because in the off season, I got traded in the off season, so everybody's OTAs and off season workouts and all that stuff is the same. But when you get into the meeting room and you about to play a team or whatever, even in the preseason, Bill always asks these questions like, who's the second string linebacker if this guy goes down? Who's the third string defensive end if this guy goes down? Who's the defensive coordinator? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Is this his first year there? Did he come from college? Did he come from high school? And up until that point, I had never had those questions asked of me. I've never dealt with that before. So I had to kind of get on my P's and Q's on that. But man, that's like a man, it was different. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely different. Even the feel going into the building was different. I'm not gonna lie. Like you go into Tampa, you know, you guys are high fiving and oh, what's up, dog? And da 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 da. And you go into the locker room, you can turn your music on and you could chill and you could, hey, FaceTime and all this stuff. And you go to New England, it's strictly business. No phones allowed or videos, like no videos or pictures allowed in the locker room. Entertain each other basically. And yeah, man, those are some of the biggest turning points for me, man. Those were different.
I've been in that seat before.
It made me a better player though.
It does though. The anxiety though that you have going in that meeting room when he's calling dudes out and goes, "What the F, Castle? You don't know who the backup linebacker is, or what's their favorite blitz on third down?" You're like, "It's Wednesday. We haven't even started third down yet," and you sit there in a full panic. But you see guys sweating that meeting. But what it does do, like you said, it makes you accountable. Because you start to study that stuff because you don't want to be embarrassed in front of your teammates. And it's one of those situations where you're like, man, this is a grind, but okay, well, let's do it. I mean, all right. So,
you look over at James. I look at James because James, or, I look at Brandon Bolden because those guys were there before me, you know what I'm saying? And Shane Vereen and those guys. So I'm looking like, when he asked me those questions, I'm like, I got the D coordinator. Okay. I got the O coordinator. I got the special teams coordinator. I got these guys. And then he'll ask you a question out of everything you wrote. He'll ask you a question that you don't have on that piece of paper.
100%.
And I'm like, James, what you hey, his name is Mike Jones. God, LG.
So, it's pretty incredible what you were able to achieve, but you obviously are one of the only players in the history to win 3 Super Bowls, but you won Super Bowls back-to-back with 2 different organizations. Does one of the Super Bowl championships stand out to you?
Man, that Eagles one is different. It was a fun, full year. Like, it wasn't like, oh, let's just have fun now. Like, it was a full year of we're gonna put this work in. We're gonna work hard as we can. We know what kind of team we have. We know we have the opportunity to make it work. Let's just grind. And it's not always going to be that, so we grind it out and we have fun and we play basketball in the locker room and we listen to music and we play pool and all that stuff. But we always knew that it was time to put the work in. And that's what I like. And I even had fun at practices. Like, you don't never have fun at practices. It's like, bro, damn, here we go again. We out here. It's 110 or it's 60. It's, sometimes it's, whatever. But I had fun at practice, man. Doug was awesome. Doug and Howie are awesome. And they showed me love and they believed in me the entire season. And they told me once we got into the playoffs in the Super Bowl, like, man, hey, we're going to ride you till the wheels fall off in the postseason. And that gave me the confidence, like, okay, because you go into the game confident in New England, bro, but it's different. You go into the playoffs confident, but it's different. You walk on eggshells because if you make a mistake as a back, not as a quarterback, you know what I'm saying? But if you make a mistake as a back, bro, you might not get no more carries that game. You might not even go back in. You know what I'm saying? So, but in Philly, they allowed you to make mistakes and not be like, shit, like I'm not going to play again. Like, they allowed me to, like, I didn't make a lot of mistakes while I was there, but you can play more loose, if that makes sense.
When you go to Philly after winning the title with New England, was there an expectation of you just want a championship? We want you to bring some championship culture to Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, there was. Well, another guy that actually was on that team was Chris Long. Had just came from New England with me. And the funny story about that is Howie asked Chris Long about me. Chris Long vouched for me. And then he hit me up and said, hey, bro, come to Philly. I don't know if I still have the text message or phone call log or whatever, but he hit me up and basically said, come to Philly, bro. It's amazing here. They've been asking me about you. They love you here. Come to Philly. I'm like, well, man, they ain't calling me. This is around the weird time that Bill had put that weird tender on me. If you guys look it up, you'll find like that weird, crazy tender where it was like, I rushed for 1,100, 1,200 yards and 17 or 18 touchdowns or whatever. And I was filling all these phone calls. And then all of a sudden they stopped. And then I see this thing come out saying, oh, the Patriots have put this rare tender on LeGarrette Blount that hasn't been used since 1970.
Only Bill would find that.
Because they want to have compensation. You know how it goes, Matt. If you ball
Yep.
out and you become a free agent, and if you do sign with a team, the team that you come from got to get compensated still, even though you're a free agent. So
Right.
he found that clause somewhere. He had 4 or 5 teams back out, and Philly stood strong and was like, bro, we'll give up that draft pick or whatever we have to give up for him. That's cool. So that was pretty tight, man. That was. I love Philly's organization, man. I'm not saying it's better than New England's by any way of the word, but that year that I was there was extremely fun. I had 14 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Like, it was great. It was great.
Well, good luck, Mountain Point, right? Mountain
Yeah.
Point, that's what it is, right?
Mountain Point Pride, baby. I'm going to let y'all know how
Mountain
to go.
Point Pride. Hey, well, we really appreciate the time. You guys follow LeGarrette, LG Blount. And, hey, loved watching you. Appreciate your time and hope you guys have a great, healthy rest of your season this year, Coach.
I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me on. Hey, Andrew, Bobby, Brandon, Kevin, everybody, Matt. Hey, I
My
appreciate
guy.
you guys, man. Thanks a lot, man. Always a pleasure. Anytime you need me, Matt, you know you can get a hold of me, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
Thanks, LeGarrette.
Good to see you.
All right, see you guys.
All right, let's do our final topic. I'm going to go the quarterback situation in San Francisco. The 49ers are 5-2 with Mac Jones as their starting quarterback. As a Patriots fan, Kevin, an only fan, not that you subscribe to his OnlyFans, but you didn't play
That's
for
Drake
them.
Mays.
Yes. Does it drive you a little crazy to see Mac Jones being successful since you're a Pats fan and he really wasn't there?
It did at first, but I think I've come to the realization that our coaching was that bad offensively while he was there when he had Matt Patricia as his coordinator, and just everything around him was just that bad. I'm like, wow. I knew it was bad, but now you're really seeing how bad it was.
If I'm correct, and Bill Belichick has a history of not drafting the best, I believe Belichick drafted him as a linebacker, Mac Jones.
Yeah, hybrid
is that
maybe?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that, yeah.
Like walk up 3-4 linebacker that can come rush on third down for sure.
1,800 passing yards, 10 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. He's got a QBR at 93. Even from this last game, he was 19-24. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So, Mac Jones, good, or Shanahan, great, or combination of both?
I think a combination of both. Kyle Shanahan's one of the best offensive coordinators and offensive minds, I should say, in the sport today. And he's proven that year in, year out. Just the way that he runs his offensive system, and you could tell that it is a quarterback-friendly system. It's a rhythm-based system. So the ball's going to come out. He's going to have you coached up and understand it's footwork-based, right? So you're hitting number 5, you're letting the ball rip, and if you're taking a hitch, you're getting to number 2. So he coaches the hell out of those guys. What's really impressive to me, I also believe for Mac Jones, and to talk about him he's been really good stepping into this role, is they've had a ton of injuries at the skill position players. Wide receiver, Kittle was out for a while, but they always also, I feel like, have an identity. And that offense runs through Christian McCaffrey. But even if you watch the game this last week, he was in rhythm. He's deadly accurate. He's tough as nails because he's been beat up this season as well. But he just makes play after play, and he's been consistent. And that's what, if you're that in Kyle Shanahan's offense, you'll have success. And he's shown that time and time again. So I think it's the brilliance of Kyle Shanahan, that offensive structure, but it's also Mac Jones is a good quarterback, and he was dealt an unfair hand early in his tenure with the Patriots.
Brock Purdy's injury status is weird because I don't think that they thought the injury was as severe, and I think now it's severe because they would have put him on the IR.
Right. I feel the same way because you go back, Burrow had the same kind of toe injury, and they immediately said, look, he's going on IR for the year. So I think that they're trying to figure out whether or not eventually they can get it to a point where he can go. I just don't know how prolonged it will be.
A couple quotes I took from his post game. Shanahan said that Purdy's turf toe is something that probably won't fully go away all year, and regardless of when he comes back, he's always going to have to deal with it. He said, quote, I thought about Purdy as a backup or emergency third quarterback, but I think the more time we give him, the better. At this point, it feels to me that Mac Jones probably, at the version he is now, is a better quarterback than Purdy will be coming in with a turf toe and a partial injury.
I agree with you, and then I also agree with you that they've got some confidence, and Mac Jones is you're starting to feel those guys support him and go around him. Not to say that they wouldn't with Purdy, but when you put Purdy back in the game and now he may be game-to-game basis. He gets tackled once and he's taken all the reps during the week, and now he's back on the IR or out for the rest of the season while Mac Jones is a healthy scratch. Why not go with the guy that's healthy and that is probably going to be there and use Purdy in that emergency role, whereas if he has to come in, then it's out of necessity.
I just shut him down. Shut him down. Purdy hurdy. That's all I say. Purdy's hurdy. Purdy's hurdy. No play.
Purdy's hurdy.
You want him back next year. That turf toe, terrible name.
Turf toe.
Yeah. No, it sounds fun.
It does sound fun. It sounds like, it's turf toe. Not a big deal. No, I heard it's one of the most excruciating things you can possibly have. I
want to go and play with some Play-Doh on my turf toe. It feels like all those go together. Okay, do you have anything else? You have a final topic?
Final topic? I really don't, but I do want to talk about Chicago.
The city,
Caleb
the Bean.
wins.
The Bean. You ever been to the Bean?
I haven't been to the Bean.
Okay.
I need to go to Chicago. I heard they've got a great city. I've been there just like for a day trip, but haven't really got to experience.
Did you never play in Chicago?
Yeah, I did, but like I said,
that's a day trip to you.
Well, yeah,
playing in Chicago is a day trip.
You don't get to experience Chicago.
I wouldn't call that a day trip.
It is. We go in on a Saturday, and I leave on a Sunday.
A day trip's like when you live in Milwaukee and you drive down and have dinner and then drive back, and it's a little longer than a normal commute. It's not going to play a professional football game at Soldier Field.
I would fly in to fly out. Basically, that's what I did.
Fair enough.
It was a work trip, but
that's better.
Yeah, it was a work trip, but I watched the complete game of Caleb Williams last week, and my God, he is one of the most physically talented quarterbacks in the league. He can make every throw, and he might not be the biggest in stature, but the guy can rip the ball anywhere. And then also his ability to move and make plays outside the pocket it's like such an exciting offense to watch. And I say he's still, a lot of people are saying this, that, and the other about they want to critique him. And yes, are there some flaws in his game still? 100%. But you can see the growth with Ben Johnson and the just constant improvement that he's made. And I think this guy's going to be a superstar sooner than later.
I also am starting to see, because I have different eyes than you, because you actually know what you're looking at. I just go, ooh, good play. But I also can see that I can see what people love that he will possibly be.
Mm-hmm.
He's such an athlete. At times, he drives me crazy.
There are.
But I think that's also, this is like his real rookie year. Eberflus, that wasn't really a rookie year. That was like when Trevor Lawrence played with Urban Meyer. That year shouldn't count.
Right.
So we're looking at a real rookie year with a real coach, an offensive coach. And so, it's kind of exciting to see because he's such an athlete.
He's such an athlete. He does things that just blow me away. I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes, but he's got that type of ability, just freak athleticism where he can make any throw at any time. And his ability to throw on the run is one of the best things that he does.
Sounded to me like a comparison to Patrick Mahomes. How about you guys? Sound like a comparison to Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, pretty close. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I don't want to make a comparison, but I want to make a comparison
to Nick Smith.
God, I love Nick Smith.
Kevin, run through the trades.
Yeah, give us a trade.
So the big one of the day is Sauce Gardner. He got traded to the Colts for 2 first-rounders and A.D. Mitchell, the receiver.
Damn.
From Indy.
What was that about? About A.D. Mitchell?
No, 2 first-rounders.
But you said that after A.D. Mitchell, not the 2 first-rounders.
I was letting him complete the complete trade.
Since when do you let people complete stuff? I'm over here a minute ago talking about Matthew Stafford, and I said, Matthew Stafford, oh my God.
I didn't know that I wasn't interrupting. And then the very next one was Drake May, and you're like, Kevin, what do you think about that? So I guess we can't have a conversation in the middle of your thing.
It's different.
It's different.
You are a highly educated with experience former Patriot. He is a fan who watches games in his underwear.
No, I was going to talk about Stafford. He was going to talk about the Patriots.
No, I know, but act like Kevin. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Mom and dad are fighting. Sadly, I'm mom. That's what sucks.
Calm down, guys.
Yes.
And the Jets, they keep wheeling and dealing. They also traded Quinnen Williams, D-tackle, to the Cowboys.
Oh, was that the trade?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing this on Tuesday afternoon because when Jerry Jones goes on Sunday, or maybe even Monday early and goes, I got a trade we've already done. I thought it was when they traded for the Bengals linebacker.
Yeah, Zach
Yes.
Or Logan Wilson.
Logan Wilson.
And so I thought, I don't know that I would have been hyping that one up like Jerry Jones was doing. Like, we got a trade coming. This one is actually better.
This is legit.
Yeah, big one for
Williams is a stud.
a second-round pick in 2026 and then 2027 first-round pick and defensive tackle. I believe it's Mazi Smith.
I know Ozzie Smith played for the Cardinals, shortstop.
Oh, I don't think different
good feet.
Smith altogether.
Wait, so
Instinctive.
they gave up a first?
They gave up a first, a
Second.
second, and a D tackle.
That's a lot.
Quinnen Williams.
That's a lot. Quentin Williams is good. I guess
He's really good.
the
but
only things that I have as a question here is what's on Quentin Williams' contract?
Let's see.
And secondly, the Cowboys really aren't in it this year.
that's what I'm saying. That's a lot of draft capital to give up in a
In a
season
year when you're
that
not trying.
you're really you've got an uphill battle just to get back in the mix in your own division.
Because I think, listen, that was a lot for Sauce Gardner too. However, where you can argue, is it too many? 2 ones is a lot. At least it's the Colts trying in a year where they're winning.
Right, 100%.
And like, I can respect that. So you're like, oh, it's too much or it's too little. I like it when my team tries, when my team has a chance to win. But this is weird, unless he's got like 3-4 years left.
Well, I
He's got
think
2 left.
2 left. It's also like it feels like Jerry's trying to do something to make up for the Parsons.
or before
Parsons.
he dies.
Well,
Like I have
And
to
the-
I have to do something to give these fans an understanding that we're trying to fix the defense.
Or before I die.
the Parsons deal. I mean, they traded for Kenny Clark. That was to stop the run.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then now here's another D tackle midseason.
They want to stop both runs.
Stop all the runs.
They want to stop every run in the NFC East period.
What about
Yeah.
the defensive backfield that gave up 300
Oh,
and something
my God.
yards
I
the other
know.
night?
Yeah. And
What
the,
if his new approach is they're going to put Quentin Williams as a defensive back?
Ooh,
dang.
that would be.
Everyone's zigging, he's zagging.
Just playing
Yeah.
cover 0, just jam him off the line, but just don't let him go.
Just hug him.
Just jam.
There's no chance. He would get run by every time.
You get like 2 yards, so jam him and hold him.
Perfect.
Our DraftKings segment of the week. Here we go. It's, as Kevin would call it, the week in Preview. Presented by DraftKings. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of in-game live betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. 3 games this week. Big game. Patriots at Bucks. That's just going to be a good game. I'm excited about it. Both teams on the way up. Both teams aren't used to being on the way up. Pick a winner there, Matt Castle.
I'm going to go with the Bucks at home. And the reason is I think that their defense is really good, and I think the offensive line for the Patriots have struggled a little bit to protect Drake May consistently, and I think this will be a defense that's probably one of the best defenses that they'll face this season.
I'm going to pick the Bucks as well, but just because they're coming off a bye week. And I think
That's helpful too.
those are 2 equal teams. I think if they're playing in London and they both come off a bye week, I'm struggling with picking one as a clear winner. But because they are playing at home and because they did have the week off last week, I'm going with the Bucks as well. Rams at 49ers, Matt Castle.
I'm going with playing the hot hand. I'm going with the Rams. I mean, Stafford's playing as well as anybody at the quarterback position right now. And Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. I mean, they've got weapons across the board. I think their defense continues to get better. And they've got a young defense, but I'll tell you what, they're producing pass rush, and they've got an identity. So I'm going to go with the Rams.
I'm going to ride Mac Jones. You rarely see a kid come up drafted as a linebacker make it a quarterback. I'm really pulling for the guy.
Or a tight end like Castle.
Yeah, Eagles at Packers. This is Monday Night Football. Man, what a bad loss for the Packers. Hey,
It really
keep pounding's what I say because I'm a lifelong Carolina Panther fan for about, 5 weeks now? Is that about right?
Yeah. Give or take.
I'm a lifelong Panther fan for about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
What a win for the Panthers over the Packers. But Eagles at Packers. Packers are the favorite. Monday Night Football in Green Bay.
I'm going with the Eagles, man. I mean, they've been playing really good football, and they've been finding ways to win. I know they haven't put it all together, but they've had the bye. Packers struggled last week.
Bad injury, too, for the Packers.
Bad injury at the tight end position.
Yeah.
I mean, that was huge because he was a go-to guy for Jordan Love. And I think Jordan Love's a really good quarterback, but there are times when he throws the ball up, and I just go, why in the hell did you just throw that ball? Like there's another ball there was one in a team meeting down the field that got intercepted. There was another one where he was trying to, and it might have been wind, I don't know, but he hit the guy directly in the hands in the end zone, and the Carolina Panther DB dropped it. And I just go, that was
right in the end zone.
Right. Do you remember that one?
I'm talking about hit him right in the chest,
But he was
hands, and
scrambling
everything.
around
Yeah,
trying
he
to
just
throw opposite
throws
field,
it
and
up.
I was going,
Yeah.
oh my God.
I couldn't believe The throw was so bad, but he dropped the easiest interception in the history of interceptions that I forgot how bad the throw was.
And then you go, and that's why you play DB. I mean, but the throw was just absurd. I couldn't explain it. I couldn't even tell you what he was thinking about doing at that point.
I just heard the announcer say about 11 times, this is my memory from the game, that Jordan Love was 27 and that Aaron Rodgers won his championship and Bart Starr won his championship at 27 years old. And if they didn't stop bringing up that stupid fact, like move on.
Yeah,
move on.
They love that fact.
They love it.
No pressure on you.
No,
Jordan Love.
And not only that, it was like Brett Favre, stole from welfare when he was 27. I think that's what it was.
57.
Whatever. It was a fact. All right. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, allegedly. Did I say allegedly?
Yeah.
I don't even know what's alleged. It's a joke. It was a joke.
Threw that in there.
It was a joke.
Allegedly.
Yeah, so it's allegedly a joke too. It's not even a joke. We don't. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code TOSAY. That's TOSAY, as in lots to say. For new customers, turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Before we go, we did an episode with Eric Decker. Go back a couple episodes, listen to it. It was really a whole lot about his career. It's not super timely, meaning it's evergreen. It's a great Eric Decker history.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up leaving Special Forces because I guess he got hurt.
Yeah, he said it was a tight back or something with his back.
Is that like when you get injured and your team sucks?
Dude, he was like, dude, are you serious? Like, this is going downhill. I'm out of here.
On last week's episode of Special Forces, Eric struggled to keep up in the military-style competition, causing his wife, Jessie James Decker, to worry. During a check-in with staff, he admitted that he'd been pushing himself, quote, as hard as I can, but he was reaching a point of exhaustion in his soul. When he went to visit the doctor at base camp, a few tests showed it wasn't safe for him to stay in the game. Quote, I'm concerned that we can't inflict any more punishment on that hip, the doctor revealed. I don't think we can safely really let it carry on. Eric Decker out, and Jessie left with him.
What a good wife. Can you imagine if she stayed and won?
I can, and I would have.
I know you would have. You'd be like, all right, babe, sorry, go fix that hip up. I'll meet you in Germany.
Yep.
Or wherever they're at.
Yeah. So sad to see him go. He did not in any way indicate that happened. He didn't tell us anything. He stayed right by his NDA he had to sign and
he really did.
Revealed nothing to us.
I was like, could you have told? Maybe that's why he's been stretching so much at the Little League games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's stretching out that
You
hip.
thought it was to be sexy. He tore it doing Special Forces training.
Yeah.
Or whatever you call it. I hope, because we're recording this, again, late Tuesday afternoon. I hope I get to watch Dancing with the Stars tonight. I'm so annoyed because I have YouTube TV. And
you guys got a dispute, right, with Disney?
Yeah, I couldn't watch Game Day. Now, I'm not part of YouTube TV, so it's not like I have a dispute with Disney.
No, I'm saying that they had I know you don't.
Well, you said
you do now. You do now because you didn't get college, didn't you?
No, I didn't get college. I didn't get Monday Night Football.
Oh, gosh, what'd you do? You got to have another streaming service.
No, I learned to buy Sling on a one-day pass for $6 a day.
That's actually nice.
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew?
But I'm really hoping to get it back for Dancing with the Stars tonight. Really need Andy and Emma.
You can come over to my house and watch it with the kids.
Are you guys watching it?
I don't know.
So you're not watching it then?
Probably not.
No. You missed my question. Have you been watching it?
I haven't been.
Okay.
Where are we in the season?
I think there's like 6 left, but we're close. We just a couple weeks left.
Who's the front runner?
Who do I think is going to win? Dylan Efron or Robert Irwin? Probably Robert Irwin, if I had to bet. He's Steve Irwin's son, Bindi Irwin's brother, the younger brother. She was a champion on the show. And now Robert Irwin, he's really good.
He's really good.
Except he's not professional. Like, he's really good without much experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you like.
Yeah.
Zac Efron's little brother. There's a lot of nepotism here, huh?
Yeah, Zac Efron's
It's both of those people. It's Dylan Efron, good looking dude, like good dancer.
I'm sure.
Great with no shirt, like makes it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those sex appeal.
Yep.
Yeah, go get it.
They're both good. I'm rooting for Andy Richter and Emma. Andy's like,
Andy Richter.
He's like 60. He wears knee braces on both legs.
Love it.
Not a great dancer, but like really has America's heart.
Yeah. Just give it full effort.
Yeah. So by the time that this is heard, you're going to know who's been kicked off. I don't know yet, but I'm really rooting for her. And I like Emma a lot. When I was on the show, like Sharna was my partner, so I got to take her out of the conversation. But Emma was the absolute greatest and the biggest helper to me, and was like an emotional resource too. And like when they would come to town, she'd like come over to the house.
Oh wow.
Like I really like
Yeah.
had a great relationship with her and her husband at the time, who they're no longer married, but he's still part of he's a dancer too.
Oh really?
And now she's dating another dancer.
No. Wait.
I know.
She's still on the show. He's still on the show.
Oh, I got an even better wrinkle. Ready for the big wrinkle?
This is an incredible. And then now she's dating another dancer on the show.
So,
Wow, this is one incestuous group of people.
well, can't you imagine they're together all the time?
I know, and they're great dancers.
So they were dating. It was Emma and Sasha. Sasha's the guy.
Okay.
They were dating. He proposed on the show. This is seasons before I went
That's
on.
romantic.
So
How can you say no?
Exactly. They both danced on the show. They got married. They were together. I knew them married. They were a married couple when I was there.
Okay.
Even when they would come to town, they came over and hung out with me married. They then got a divorce. My assumption and the limited knowledge that I have is they're still cool, but now she's dating another dancer from the show. It's her boyfriend. And I knew him and really liked him as well. Now, Sasha, still on the show, not this season. Here you go. Here's the big finale. Sasha, her ex-husband, was supposed to be on this season and rumored his partner was Jordan Hudson, and she backed out. Bill Belichick's girlfriend. She backed out last minute because she decided she didn't want to go on the show. So he lost his spot because she backed out of the show.
Wow. This is great. They need to
Exactly.
do it. Can we do it behind the scenes? Like, I'd tune in for that.
Uh-huh.
Like,
I wish Belichick's girl would have went on.
I do too. That would have been amazing.
And so Sasha was going to be on the season, but rumor has it that was his partner, and she backed out, so he didn't have a partner.
And they also didn't want him to beat up the new boyfriend.
No, I believe they're cool.
Gosh,
And they
one
both are
big
so
happy family.
nice. I know. They're both.
Dancers are normally pretty cool. Have you ever met like a dancer that you didn't really like? Or was there one on the show, you don't even have to mention them, that was like,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
kind of a dick?
2.
Two of them.
Yeah.
Both males?
I have no comment.
Come on, you got to at least. I'm not asking you to name anybody.
But you're cutting half off. If you say male or female, you're cutting.
Of course we are.
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm going to say there were 2 very difficult dancers that I would say weren't loved by all, that weren't super nice to me either. And I was
it because of the competitive nature that they have, or
No.
was it just because of the
nobody
person?
saw me as competition, because watching back, I'm doing a whole video series because I've never watched my dances back ever until now. Because I was like, and I was actually a little more athletic than, I wasn't as bad as everybody made me feel.
Yeah.
And I have a little trauma with it, like with watching it back, which is why I never watched it back. I won the freaking thing. I was proud of winning, but I was like, I'm not going to watch it. I had just understood in my heart and soul that I was terrible, but I won through the people. But now that I watch back, I definitely won through the people, but I wasn't near as bad as I gave myself credit for being.
Yeah. That they made you believe you were.
Yeah, because I really believed, man, I was terrible.
Man, I'm never dancing again.
Yeah.
Your wife's like,
I
can we
haven't
do the first
I haven't
dance at
danced
the wedding?
since.
You're like, no chance.
I called in a stunt dancer at the wedding. It wasn't me. I was like, I will not have this first dance.
Let's wear masks during our first dance, babe.
There were a couple that were difficult. And,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even towards the competition part of me because nobody thought I was competition for real until like the last 4 weeks. That's when they knew they were in trouble. I was never in the bottom 3. They don't do bottom 3 anymore. They do random 3, but 5 seasons ago, they did bottom 3.
Hold
And
on.
so-
Random 3 would be you don't even know you're in the bottom 3.
They just have 3 couples at the end when they start telling people, so-and-so, you're safe. There are 3 couples on stage. One of you is going home.
Doesn't that make it the bottom 3 though?
It doesn't. So they
It feels like it is.
the bottom 1 is for sure of the bottom 3, but the other 2, they don't have to be.
Oh, they could be. They
could be
could
the
actually
number
be
one.
number 1.
But you never know the voting.
Oh, nice little twist.
But it's
Good job, producers.
my season, it was just a bottom 3, so you knew.
Yeah, and you're never wearing the bottom 3.
Not once.
Hell yeah.
But nobody.
Screw you.
But I was never
America loves me.
I
They
never
knew
thought
you were
that.
in competition when they got to like week 8, and they're like,
Yeah.
this dude's never been in the bottom 3.
And then once because I was pretty heavily involved in creating television shows. Like I had signed a deal with BBC after Dancing with the Stars, BBC America, to write shows, like to create concepts of shows. And then I would learn about where they would put, and then I would learn they would put certain dancers at the top of hours. And those were the ones that they really wanted. I shouldn't say to highlight, but they were the ones that they knew people would like, because let's say that the show goes on 7 to 9. After another network has their show 7 to 8, let's say people are flipping around or finding a new show, they're going to come and sample the first few minutes of
Right.
Dancing with Us. So they would put one of the people that were getting like the best votes at the top of the hour, it'd be either the first dancer, the top of the hour dancer, or the end dancer. I never knew this. And then once I finished the whole season and started to learn this, I realized most episodes I was either the first dancer, the top of the hour dancer, or the final dancer.
Hell yeah,
never
Bob.
knew any of that until. Did you call me Bob?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, I meant to say Bobby.
But you didn't want to keep interrupting?
Well, I just wanted to stop. I want to stop because I've already got scolded by mom today.
All right.
Sam Darnold and Bob. Oh, I'm sorry. I started to say your name, but I wanted to stop.
We're done. That is Matt Castle. That is Kickoff Kevin. That is Brandon Ray. That is Nick Smith. He is a fictional character that we created today that we just throw in for no reason at all.
Anytime we want.
I'm Bobby Bones. Thank you guys. If you don't mind, the one favor we would ask, share this on your Instagram story. If you'd be like, hey, this podcast is great. If you like funny things, if you like quarterbacks, if you like Nick Smith, like post it up there because nobody's promoting us. So we would love the help if you don't mind. Thank you guys. Thanks to LeGarrette Blount. We'll see you guys next week. We've had lots to say. Bye, everybody.